Abandoned Colossal Starship pleads for a human mechanic. He revives it into a galactic superweapon. Alex Riker had always been drawn to the abandoned. Not people, not places, but machines. The older, rustier, and more forgotten they were, the more they fascinated him. There was something poetic in the way a machine decayed, a starship drifting alone in the void. Engines cold, systems dead. To most it was scrap, a useless hunk of metal. But to Alex it was a challenge, a story waiting to be told. On this particular day he was piloting his small salvage ship, the Nomad, through the outer reaches of the Typhon cluster, a part of space so remote that even mining colonies rarely visited. Asteroids floated lazily like cosmic debris, some as large as small cities, others no bigger than a speck of dust. The radio crackled with static, the only sound beyond the hum of the Nomad's engines. Alex was scanning the void, his eyes flicking between the radar and the monitors. "Nothing yet," he muttered, tapping the screen. "Just rocks, rocks, more rocks." His voice echoed in the cockpit, filling the silence that stretched like the dark between the stars. Then a signal cut through the static. Faint, distorted, almost indistinguishable from the background noise, but there. Alex leaned forward. "What the hell?" The signal repeated, and this time he could make out a voice. "Human, please, help." Alex froze. A voice. A machine voice. He had heard AI systems, of course. Chat interfaces, old ship logs. But this was different. It sounded alive. Desperate. Pleading. He hesitated. Most people would have ignored it. 1,000 scams, traps, and false signals littered deep space. But Alex had a habit of doing the opposite of what most people did. Curiosity, after all, was part of being human. "Where are you coming from?" he asked aloud, almost expecting the void to answer him back. The voice came again, clearer this time. "Colossus, Titanus, abandoned, only human can repair." Alex felt a chill. Titanus. That name rang no bells in any record he had ever seen. According to galactic records, no ship by that name had survived the war centuries ago. Yet here it was, or at least something claiming it. He plotted a course toward the signal. The radar picked up an enormous object floating among the asteroids, casting jagged shadows over the rocks like a sleeping monster. It was vast, easily 10 times the size of any freighter Alex had ever seen. The surface was scarred, dented by meteors and covered in streaks of rust and ice. Alex's heart pounded. "Holy, that's big!" The closer he got, the more he realized how enormous it truly was. Titanus was not just a starship. It was a colossal construct, built for purposes Alex could only guess. Its hull bore scars of ancient battles, deep gouges, and burn marks from weapons long obsolete. And yet, faint lights blinked along its surface, like dying stars refusing to go out. When Alex docked his Nomad with Titanus, the sheer scale made him dizzy. The docking bay was enormous, stretching beyond his scanner's range. As he floated through the airlock, the ship seemed to watch him. The voice spoke again, now from every speaker, every corner of the chamber. "Human, please, awaken me." Alex's fingers hovered over the repair console he carried. "You're not exactly alive," he said softly. "But you're asking me to fix you?" "Yes, only human touch. Understand, repair." He took a deep breath and set to work. Titanus' systems were cold, screens black, wires broken, circuits fried. Alex could feel the weight of centuries pressing down on him. This wasn't a simple repair job. This was revival. Hours passed. Sweat dripped from his forehead as he rewired, recalibrated, and bypassed ancient failsafes. Every now and then, Titanus would speak, murmuring in mechanical tones that somehow felt alive. "Careful, do not touch core. Core is sensitive." Alex grinned.
"I wouldn't dream of it."
"But I'll need to see what's inside eventually." The deeper he went into Titanus' systems, the more strange phenomena he encountered. Gravity seemed to shift slightly. Lights flickered in patterns that suggested thought rather than malfunction, and at times he felt as if the ship were breathing around him. By the time he reached the heart of the ship, the central chamber, he realized Titanus was more than a machine. It had layers of intelligence, protocols designed for a species long gone, but all waiting for a human. He had no idea why humans were special, just that the ship knew he was the one. "You understand, humans are different, cannot be replicated," Alex chuckled. "Well, that's flattering, I think." He activated the core interface. Lights blinked wildly, screens whirred to life, and the hum of energy filled the chamber. Titanus spoke again, with a tone both mechanical and almost human.
"Initiating partial systems, human."
"Thank you," Alex felt a thrill. Systems began humming, engines faintly powering up, shield generators flickering, gravimetric controls aligning. The ship was waking, and then the warning came. "Alien sensors detected, danger approaching, human must decide." Alex's stomach tightened. He glanced at the viewport. Distant shapes moved toward Titanus, ships, sleek and unfamiliar. The aliens of this sector must have detected Titanus awakening. No doubt they saw it as a threat, a relic of a bygone war that could tip the balance of power.
"Human, your choice. Awaken fully."
Or hide. Alex swallowed. He had come to salvage. He hadn't expected to find a living supership, or become the deciding factor in its destiny. He considered retreating, leaving Titanus dormant, and slipping away into the void. But something in him refused. "We need you." Humans had always been the wild card in the galaxy, resourceful, unpredictable, and willing to take risks that no AI, or even most alien species, would attempt. Alex felt the weight of that truth pressing down on him. This was not just about a ship. This was about humans proving their worth in a galaxy that often forgot them. He took a deep breath and touched the core interface. A surge of energy ran through him, not harmful, but alive. Titanus hummed in response, almost purring. Systems flared, lights danced across the hull, and the ship shifted slightly, as if stretching after centuries of stillness. "Partial revival complete, human. You have awakened me. Now we begin." Alex stepped back, breathless. He could feel Titanus's potential. It was immense, more than anything in recorded history. The sensors indicated energy readings beyond normal comprehension. Weapons, shields, engines, all offline before, now flickered with power. And yet, Alex knew this was only the beginning. Titanus had only partially awakened. Its full capabilities, whatever they were, awaited a human touch. He glanced out the viewport. The alien ships were approaching faster now. He could either flee with Titanus dormant, or face unknown danger with the ship partially alive, ready to learn from him. Alex smiled. "Well, humans do like a challenge," he muttered. Titanus responded almost immediately, in a tone that was more a chuckle than a warning. Humans indeed, unpredictable, intriguing. The Nomad's engines whirred. The alien ships were closing in. Alex Riker, human mechanic, was now the heartbeat of a colossal sleeping warship. And the galaxy, whether it knew it or not, was about to meet the kind of human ingenuity it had never seen before. With a final glance at Titanus's awakening core, Alex set the Nomad's autopilot to maintain a safe distance and prepared to step fully into the void. Whatever came next, one thing was certain. Humans were about to prove they were different. The silent giant had called, and Alex had answered. The adventure was only beginning. Alex Riker floated in the cavernous heart of Titanus, his tools clutched tightly in his hands. The ship had begun to hum, a low, vibrating resonance that filled every corridor, every chamber, like the heartbeat of something alive. Lights blinked along the walls, and the massive engines thrummed faintly, as if testing themselves after centuries of silence. "Okay, Titanus," Alex muttered, his voice echoing. "Let's see what you're really made of. Human patience. Caution. Systems fragile." The voice was calm, almost maternal, but there was an urgency beneath the words. You must continue carefully. Alex nodded. He understood. This was not just repairing circuits or patching hulls. Titanus was ancient, yes, but it also carried secrets, weapons, and power that no human, or alien, had seen in centuries. Every step he took could awaken forces he couldn't control. He began with the bridge. The vast room stretched out like a cathedral, with consoles and screens that covered every wall. He tapped into the navigation panel, fingers flying across buttons and holographic projections. Data flowed like water, incomprehensible symbols from a civilization long gone. But Titanus guided him patiently. Humans, intuitive, you understand patterns we could not touch a comma. Fascinating, Alex smirked. Thanks, I think. As he worked, Titanus explained the basics of its systems. Weapons were offline, engines only partially functional, and shields required a human neural interface to stabilize fully. Humans were the only species capable of understanding the interface because of unique brainwave patterns, Titanus said. Aliens, AI, or automated systems could never manage it. Alex raised an eyebrow. So you're saying I'm special just for touching wires? More than wires. Humans are adaptable, unpredictable, clever, necessary. The words gave him a thrill. Humans were the wild card of the galaxy. They could think creatively, improvise, and act where logic failed. Titanus had waited centuries for a human to come along. Hours passed, and Alex's work began to show results. Minor systems flickered on, lights brightened. The engines hummed more steadily. Titanus shifted slightly, groaning under its own weight. It was waking. Human, sensors detect alien ships approaching. Caution advised. Alex froze. He went to the viewport. Faint silhouettes moved against the black void, sleek and dark, almost predatory. Aliens, he muttered. They must have detected me when I reactivated you. Titanus spoke, almost sadly. They fear me. They have hunted my kind. But they cannot predict you, human. They will underestimate your ingenuity. Alex smiled nervously. Humans did have a way of turning the impossible into the ordinary. Well, let's hope my ingenuity is enough. He returned to the central chamber. The alien ships were closing quickly, their scanners probing for energy signatures. Titanus's core pulsed faintly, struggling to stabilize its systems without a fully trained pilot. Alex had a choice. Complete the revival now, or hide and risk the aliens boarding them.
Human, your decision will shape everything.
Fully awake, or remain silent. Danger imminent, Alex thought fast. He didn't want to hide. Humans didn't hide from challenges. They adapted, survived, and used creativity where others relied on power.
Okay, full revival it is.
He touched the core interface. A surge of energy coursed through him, and Titanus shuddered as systems roared to life. Lights blazed along the hull. Engines glowed with latent energy, and a holographic projection of Titanus's ancient AI appeared in the air before him. It was humanoid in form but entirely mechanical, with glowing lines tracing across its body. Human welcome, I am Titanus. Together we will awaken fully. Alex took a deep breath. Let's do it. He accessed the neural interface connecting his mind to Titanus. Images, calculations, and raw energy flowed into him, overwhelming and exhilarating. The ship's systems began to respond to his thoughts, engines accelerating, shields stabilizing, weapon arrays aligning. He could feel the potential, the power that had been dormant for centuries. And then came the first challenge. The alien ships moved closer, launching probes and scanning beams. They were intelligent, cautious, but conventional. Titanus's sensors displayed them as small specks, easily outclassed if Alex used the ship wisely. Human, conventional defense insufficient. Your creativity will be the weapon, Alex grinned. Now we're talking. He manipulated the engines, using Titanus's gravity control to create subtle distortions around the approaching ships. One probe drifted too close and was caught in a sudden gravitational eddy, spinning harmlessly before being tossed away. Another ship tried to flank them, only to find itself slowed by shifting gravity fields. Titanus hummed with approval. Human, unpredictable, fascinating, your methods. Effective, Alex felt a thrill. This was more than repair. This was strategy, improvisation, and survival all at once. He had always known humans were good at thinking on their feet, but controlling a starship like Titanus made him feel unstoppable. Hours passed. Alex learned to anticipate Titanus's reactions, guiding its weapons and shields in unorthodox ways. He discovered energy pulses could be used to create temporary barriers. Engines could manipulate trajectories of incoming ships, and even ancient defense systems could be reprogrammed on the fly with a human mind.
The alien fleet, realizing they were outmaneuvered, paused.
They could not understand the synergy between human intuition and Titanus's raw power. Every tactic they tried was countered in ways they could not calculate. Alex realized humans were uniquely capable in ways AI and aliens could not match. Human, remarkable, you are more than we anticipated. A true operator, Alex chuckled. I told you humans are a wild card. But even as he mastered the systems, he felt the weight of responsibility. Titanus was more than a weapon. It was a supership, capable of unimaginable destruction, but also unimaginable defense. The galaxy would notice if it fully awakened. And the aliens were not the only concern. Other factions, mercenaries, and opportunists would soon be drawn by the signal. Titanus whispered warnings, but also offered guidance. Humans, Titanus explained, were meant to balance power, not destroy it blindly. Alex nodded. He understood. The ship had chosen him, but it was also teaching him. Strategy, foresight, creativity. These were weapons as powerful as cannons or shields. The hours turned into night, though in the void of space, night had no meaning. Alex worked tirelessly, repairing auxiliary systems, stabilizing engines, and calibrating shields. Titanus responded, shifting subtly under his hands, almost as if enjoying the attention. Human, partial revival complete. Caution, full systems will require risk. Alex looked at the alien ship still hovering at the edge of detection. Risk is part of being human, he muttered. Time to take the next step. He initiated the final sequence for full revival. Lights blazed along Titanus's hull, engines flared, and energy thrummed through the ship like a living heartbeat. Alex felt himself connected completely now, his mind and Titanus intertwined. He could feel every thruster, every shield, every potential weapon system. He was the conductor of a symphony of power. Human, ready now we are complete. But danger imminent. The alien ships, sensing the surge, hesitated. They could detect the potential, but could not calculate what it meant. Titanus spoke directly to Alex, its voice urgent but calm. Human, they will come. The galaxy will notice. Your creativity is the key. Use it wisely. Alex grinned, feeling the thrill of human ingenuity. Don't worry, humans always find a way. The alien ships began to move again, more cautiously now, as Alex prepared Titanus for whatever came next. The sleeping giant was awake, and the galaxy had yet to see what a human could do with a starship of unimaginable power. And Alex, the mechanic who had answered the call of an abandoned colossus, was ready. The adventure was far from over. In fact, it was only getting started. The human touch had awakened Titanus, and the galaxy would soon realize that humans were not to be underestimated. The void of space stretched endlessly around Titanus, but for Alex Riker it felt alive. Every hum of energy, every flicker of lights along the hull, told him that the colossal ship was awake, fully awake. And with him at its core, Titanus was no longer just a relic. It was a force of unimaginable potential. All right, Titanus, Alex said, floating near the central interface. Let's see what humans can do. Indeed, human. Unpredictable. Capable. Titanus's voice resonated through the corridors, vibrating softly like a calm before a storm. The alien ships that had been circling at the edge of detection moved closer now. They had begun to realize that Titanus was fully operational and that their conventional tactics were useless. Probes sent ahead were instantly neutralized or redirected, and their scanners couldn't make sense of the chaotic gravitational fields Titanus now projected. Alex smiled. Humans thrived in chaos. Unpredictable, creative, instinctive. While other species relied on logic, pattern recognition, and AI calculations, humans improvised. And Titanus, powered by his mind, responded instantly to his ideas. He activated the engines in an unusual sequence, creating a ripple in space around them. The alien ships hesitated, caught off guard. "Yeah, that's right," Alex muttered. "Humans don't follow the rules. Human—" "Fascinating, your methods. Effective," Titanus replied. "Alien calculations cannot account for your creativity." Alex had learned fast. Titanus had layers of potential energy and weapons that had been dormant for centuries. There were gravitic projectors that could bend trajectories, shields that could cover entire moons, and engines capable of near-instant jumps between star systems. Most importantly, the systems could respond to his thoughts directly, meaning he could improvise in ways no AI or alien pilot could predict. He began testing the ship's defenses. A small squadron of alien fighters approached from the left flank. Alex used Titanus's gravity projectors to alter their course. One fighter drifted harmlessly into an asteroid. Another spun in mid-space, unable to regain control. The aliens tried to adjust, but their calculations were too rigid. Titanus responded to Alex's instinct, countering their every move. "Human AI, you are unpredictable. Superior." Titanus's voice was almost amused. Alex laughed. Finally, someone gets it. Hours passed as he explored Titanus's capabilities. He discovered he could use the engines to shift the ship's mass slightly, creating zones where gravity moved in strange patterns. He could redirect energy flows to shields, weapons, or propulsion almost instantly. He even realized that he could simulate decoys, making Titanus appear in multiple locations at once. The alien ships were utterly confused. Human, tiger. "Your mind, we underestimated humans. You are the key," Titanus said. Alex leaned back. "I told you humans are chaos with purpose." But even as he reveled in his newfound control, he realized the responsibility. Titanus was a superweapon. If misused, it could obliterate entire fleets, even planets. He had power beyond comprehension, and the galaxy would take notice. He could see it in the alien ships, the way they hesitated, scanning and calculating, trying to understand the impossible. Alex took a deep breath. "Power isn't just about destruction," he said to Titanus. "It's about choice, strategy, outthinking your enemy, not just overpowering them." "Human, wise, unusual. We learned from you." Suddenly, one of the alien ships broke formation and accelerated toward them, weapon systems glowing. Alex's heart raced. He activated the defensive matrix, creating a dynamic shield around Titanus. The incoming fire was redirected into space, harmlessly dissipating. He adjusted the gravitic fields, making the attackers drift past them like leaves in a river. "Humans adapt," he said, floating near the interface. "We improvise. And we survive. Humans, chaos. Genius we cannot predict," Titanus replied. More alien ships appeared on the sensors. They were sending messages now, possibly retreating or requesting reinforcements. But Alex didn't panic. He had learned the rules of Titanus, and more importantly, he had learned the one rule no alien could understand. Humans think differently. They act unpredictably. They find solutions where none exist. He tested a bold move. Using Titanus's engines and gravitic projectors, he shifted their position relative to the alien fleet, creating the illusion that Titanus had jumped hundreds of kilometers in a fraction of a second. The alien fleet fired, missing completely, their weapons aimed at empty space. Alex grinned. "That's human thinking for you. Humans, unpredictable, necessary," Titanus whispered. The alien ships hesitated, unsure whether to attack or retreat. Alex realized something important. Fear and awe could be more powerful than weapons. They had never seen a human control a starship like Titanus. They had underestimated the ingenuity of one mechanic. He began planning a more ambitious maneuver. Titanus had the ability to manipulate gravitational fields across a vast area. He could create zones of space where ships would slow, stall, or spin uncontrollably. He could herd the alien fleet without firing a single shot. It was a test of strategy rather than brute force. Alex activated the gravitational sweep. Alien ships drifted into patterns he designed, unable to escape the invisible web he wove. He felt the exhilaration of being in control, not through raw firepower, but through intellect, creativity, traits uniquely human. Humans, indeed different, remarkable, Titanus said. Even Titanus seemed surprised by how effectively humans could use its systems. The ancient AI had anticipated predictable tactics, even human tactics, but Alex was unlike any human it had considered. He combined intuition, instinct, and improvisation in ways Titanus could barely calculate. Hours turned into what felt like minutes. The alien fleet, now disorganized and demoralized, began to retreat. Alex guided Titanus to maintain a controlled distance, watching them drift away, their sensors still trying to make sense of the impossible.
Humans, Alex said softly, we don't just fight.
We outthink, we outmaneuver, and sometimes we surprise everyone, including ourselves.
Humans! Genius!
Unpredictable, essential.
Titanus replied. Alex floated near the interface, exhausted but exhilarated.
He realized that this was only the beginning. The galaxy had no idea what a human could do with Titanus fully operational. He had proven that intelligence, creativity, and instinct could rival the most advanced weapons, and perhaps even surpass them. But the exhilaration was tempered with caution. More alien ships would come, and the galaxy would soon take notice. He could feel the weight of responsibility pressing down on him. Titanus was powerful, yes, but it was also a beacon, a signal that humans were not to be underestimated. Alex looked around the massive bridge of Titanus. Lights flickered, engines thrummed, and energy flowed through the ship like blood through veins. He was connected fully now, not just as a mechanic, but as a partner, a strategist, and the guiding mind of a weapon unlike any other. Human. We will face more unknowns. Your ingenuity will be tested, Titanus warned.
Alex nodded.
I know, but that's what humans do best. We adapt. We survive. We turn the impossible into the ordinary. For the first time, he felt a profound connection, not just to Titanus, but to humanity itself. Humans were small, fragile, and underestimated, but their minds were powerful, unpredictable, and unstoppable when combined with the right tools. He floated toward the viewport, watching the alien fleet retreat into the darkness. They don't understand us, he said quietly. They never will. Humans. Indeed. Different. Necessary. Titanus whispered. We will need your mind. Again. And again. Alex smiled. Good. I was hoping for more practice. As Titanus floated silently in the void, fully awake and humming with energy, Alex realized the truth. Humans were not meant to fight like others. They were meant to think differently, to surprise, to innovate, to turn even an abandoned centuries-old superweapon into a tool of creativity, strategy, and survival.
And the galaxy had yet to see what humans could really do. The adventure was far from over.
Aliens would return. Other factions would arrive. And the true test of Titanus and humanity's ingenuity was only just beginning. But for now, Alex Riker, human mechanic and unexpected strategist, had proven one undeniable fact. Humans were different. And different was powerful. The sleeping giant had fully awakened, and with it, the galaxy's perception of humans would never be the same again. The void stretched endlessly, black and silent except for the hum of Titanus. Fully awakened, it floated like a colossal guardian among the stars. Alex Riker, human mechanic, strategist, and now the living interface of this ancient starship, surveyed the galaxy through the massive viewport. The alien ships had retreated, for now, but the sensors indicated more fleets were converging from distant sectors. News of Titanus' awakening would spread quickly. He knew the galaxy would take notice and many would come with hostile intent. Alex sighed. Well, Titanus, looks like the universe finally wants to meet us, human said.
They underestimate you. They always do. Your mind is our advantage, Titanus replied.
Its voice resonated through the corridors, calm but powerful, like the ocean's pulse. Alex knew it was true. The galaxy had long relied on predictable patterns, AI calculations, and overwhelming force. Humans were chaotic, unpredictable, clever, resourceful. That was their edge, and Titanus now amplified it in ways that no one could imagine. He floated to the central interface, where holographic displays mapped the surrounding space. Alien fleets were converging in several directions, each moving with caution. They had seen Titanus's partial revival before, but they did not understand humans. They could not predict what Alex would do. "Human, your creativity will be decisive," Titanus said. Alex nodded. "Then let's show them why humans survive, why humans thrive." He began by activating Titanus's gravitational projectors. Entire sections of space bent subtly, creating invisible corridors and traps. Alien ships approaching from one direction were deflected harmlessly into asteroid fields, spinning out of control. Others found themselves slowed, unable to accelerate against the shifting gravitational pull. Alex could manipulate every moment, every movement, in real time. "Humans unpredictable, remarkable," Titanus whispered.
Alex grinned. "I think you're starting to get it."
The ancient warship had the ability to make jumps across vast distances almost instantaneously. But conventional jumps were calculated and precise, predictable. Alex thought differently. He initiated a new pattern, hopping across space in a zigzag, creating afterimages of Titanus' energy signature. Alien ships fired at these illusions, wasting their firepower. "Human, clever, chaotic genius," Titanus said. Hours passed in a blur of calculation, improvisation, and instinct. Alex had discovered he could use Titanus's energy to manipulate space, creating zones where enemy fleets would drift in loops, slowing them, confusing them, and rendering their advanced weapons useless. "Humans are meant to think differently," Alex muttered. "We survive by being unexpected. We win by being creative." "Indeed, we learn from you, humans," Titanus responded. The alien fleets hesitated. They had never faced a human-controlled Titanus before. They had weapons, fleets, numbers, but they did not have unpredictability. They could not calculate instinct. They could not predict creativity. Every move Alex made, Titanus executed instantly, and the results left the aliens baffled. Alex realized that power alone was not enough. Titans of metal and energy were useless without insight. He had the chance to prove a universal truth. Humans were different, uniquely different, and different was stronger than brute force. He began coordinating a series of maneuvers designed not to destroy, but to neutralize threats. Using gravity manipulation, engine thrust, and energy redirection, he forced the alien fleets to retreat strategically, spinning them in harmless arcs across space. Each move was precise yet unpredictable. Each decision demonstrated human ingenuity amplified by Titanus's capabilities. "Human, your choices demonstrate humanity's essence," Titanus said, voice reverent. Alex floated near the interface, hands resting on the control panels. "We don't just fight," he said softly. "We think, we adapt, we improvise, and we survive." One of the alien admirals, observing the chaos, sent a communication through encrypted channels. It was a message of awe and fear. They had never seen anything like this. The human mechanic and the ancient warship had turned the tide without firing a single lethal shot. Intelligence and creativity had triumphed over force. Alex realized the implications. The galaxy would never look at humans the same way again. Small, fragile, underestimated, yet capable of reshaping battles with insight, intuition, and strategy.
Titanus whispered. "Essential."
Titanus whispered. The ancient ship's sensors detected more signals. Unknown species. Curious observers. Factions drawn by Titanus's awakening. Some were hostile, others cautious, and a few intrigued. Alex realized that Titanus was more than a weapon. It was a statement, a symbol of human potential. He decided to take a bold step. Using Titanus's engines and gravitational fields, he positioned the ship between the unknown fleets, demonstrating not aggression, but control. The massive ship floated confidently, shields active but weapons silent. He projected energy pulses in patterns that mesmerized and confused the observers. They could sense power, but they could not predict it. Human, your mind. Unrivaled. Humans are remarkable, Titanus said. Alex smiled. Humans aren't meant to fit expectations, he said. We break them. By the end of the cycle, the alien fleets had retreated. Communications were disrupted by Titanus's energy manipulations, and the galaxy had witnessed something extraordinary. A human, small and fragile by comparison, had mastered a superweapon in ways that intelligence and firepower alone could not replicate. Human, the galaxy will notice. Humans must be respected, Titanus said. Alex leaned back, breathing heavily. And let them notice, he said. Let them see that humans are different. And that difference is power. He floated through Titanus corridors, examining systems, recalibrating engines, and listening to the hum of energy. The ship responded instantly, moving with grace despite its immense size. Alex felt a deep connection, not just to the machine, but to humanity itself. Humans were small, underestimated, and often dismissed. Yet here, in the void of space, controlling a starship built for war but now guided by instinct and creativity, Alex understood the truth. Humans could turn the impossible into ordinary, the hopeless into strategic triumphs. Humans. Necessary. Unpredictable. Genius. Titanus whispered. Alex smiled. Exactly. That's why we survive. That's why we thrive. That's why we're humans. The sensors pinged again. A distant signal, weak but deliberate, approached. Alex analyzed it and realized it was not a threat, yet a curiosity, a request, another challenge. Titanus detected the signal and confirmed it. Human, another opportunity, another test your ingenuity required. Alex chuckled. Another challenge, huh? Well, humans never back down. He set Titanus's course toward the unknown signal. Engines flared as the colossal ship glided through space, a guardian and a statement in one. The galaxy had seen a glimpse of human potential, and there was no turning back. Alex reflected on the journey so far. He had answered the call of an abandoned ship, repaired it with human skill, awakened it fully, and demonstrated that humans were unpredictable, creative, and essential. No one in the galaxy could have done what he did. Only a human could think, improvise, and act in ways the universe had not calculated. Human, humanity, essential, admired, feared. Respected, Titanus whispered. Alex laughed softly. Let them fear, respect, and admire us. We earned it. As Titanus moved forward, the stars blurred into streaks of light. The galaxy was vast, full of unknown threats, strange civilizations, and mysteries yet to be uncovered. But Alex was no longer just a mechanic. He was the human mind behind a colossal starship, a strategist, an innovator, a wild card the galaxy had never expected. Humans, different, essential, unrivaled, extraordinary, Titanus said. And Alex knew it was true. Humans had always survived against impossible odds, using their minds, creativity, and adaptability. They were unpredictable, they were resourceful, and when combined with Titanus, they were unstoppable. The galaxy had witnessed the first chapter of a new era, not one of destruction but of potential, human potential amplified by ingenuity, instinct, and courage. Alex Riker, human mechanic, floated through the command deck, looking at Titanus's glowing core. We're just getting started, he said softly. The galaxy doesn't know it yet, but humans are. Unstoppable. Human, indeed unstoppable. Necessary, different, remarkable, Titanus whispered. And with that they moved forward, together, into the unknown. The adventure was far from over. New signals, new challenges, and new opportunities awaited. But one truth was undeniable. The galaxy had finally met humanity, and it would never underestimate them again. Alex smiled. Time to show them what humans can really do. Titanus hummed in agreement. The colossal starship, once abandoned and forgotten, was now a living testament to human ingenuity. And together, they were ready to face the galaxy. Unpredictable, unstoppable, and extraordinary. The legend of a human mechanic and a galactic superweapon had only begun.